Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Good afternoon, sir.
Be seated.
Thank you.
You are Rahul.
Yes, sir.
Good. Very familiar name.
Yes, sir.
So you have done your electrical engineering from IIT Patna,
Yes, sir.
and this is your first attempt.
Yes, sir.
What motivated you to go in for civil services examination rather than pursuing further studies and doing research?
So my aim from early on, it was like to be a asset to a nation.
You can remove it because both the things are exposed. So remove it.
This my motive from my since childhood there was like I want to be an asset to a nation. Though I could be do a public service via electrical engineering, sir, but that would be in a very limited domain and that would have in a narrow space, sir. But like in civil services, there's a lot of opportunity and diverse fields, and sir, the impact it makes is more direct and sir, it's more direct and like specialized.
Last year, Government of India created Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, it is a non-lapsable fund, sir, which was basically created to fund infrastructure. And sir, some of the schemes are like one is a national policy on rare diseases. That was
What is a rare disease?
Sir, there's no formally accepted definition, but sir, like we tend to classify those diseases which are found like sir 1 in 10,000. Like so, those are classified as rare diseases.
Okay, that's good. Now just tell me, do you really agree to the concept of health policy which is being implemented in our country? You know, even after its implementation, we find that the diseases spread very, very fast. Why? I'm not talking about the COVID. Other than COVID, I'm talking about general diseases.
So as per se, the policy, I broadly tend to agree with the policy, sir. But there are some instances like diseases are spreading fast. So some of them like TB, we are not still able to like meet the targets. We are not like on the track, sir. But that's not because of the policy. So there are like implementation issues like the availability and accessibility, like dot scores. So many of times the patients do not like complete the course and the disease tend to resurrect, sir, after some time.
You know, government is pursuing for so many years now, more than 15-20 years, the doctor should write only generic medicines. Still, they write only commercial names and commercial medicines. They don't write the prescription in generic medicines. Why don't the people in the government, they take certain action against such doctors?
Sir, for people, sir, they are like doctors are only hope, like they help them to cure diseases. But sir, not all the doctors sir do write commercial medicines. There are only like sir few significant like few sir fractions of them, sir, they do tend to like write.
No, it is reverse. A very small number of doctors who write basically generic medicines. Almost everyone writes trade names. So, have you ever seen any prescription where doctor has written non-trade names of medicines? Any prescription of anyone?
So like in common, if there's a normal like cough and cold or fever, sir, then they tend to write like generic names.
There is very low cost medicines.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? What can be done in this regard?
So first of all, like people should be made aware. Like people are not aware what are the generic medicines, what are the commercial medicines. Like they are not aware of the like constituents. Like example, like sir, PM, there is a scheme like sir, Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Yojana. There, if also like doctors tend to write sir commercial medicines, so people can get like from same constituents the generic ones from there. And secondly, sir, people are not aware, so they also don't try to like sir complain or sir, raise any issue against the writing of sir commercial medicines. They are not aware of the sir, like the policies.
Okay.
So you are interested in Bollywood songs of 1990s.
Yes, sir.
Not interested in any older or newer
Sir,
songs?
I am interested, sir, but that is the most significant, sir.
Why so? You're born in those years or what?
So, though I was not born in those years, sir, but
Brought up in those years?
sir, the initial sir attraction came because sir, in my family, sir, my father and sir, one of my cousins who lived with us, sir, they used to listen, and initial attraction came from them. And sir, what is my assumption?
Who is your favorite singer of that time?
Sir, it's Udit Narayan.
Udit Narayan.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So you sing also or you only listen?
No, sir, I listen and hum with it. Right?
So what is the basic difference between the music of 90s and maybe 60s?
Sir, according to me, sir, in 60s, sir, there was more focus on the vocals and the sir, there was less use of technology because that was not evolved at that time, sir. But in 1990s, some of the technologies are for like recording, like there was no live recording concept was slowly diminished in 1990s because there could be mixing at afterwards in the post production time, sir. These things increased. So they had a sir, best fusion in the 1990s because sir, after that, sir, I think the technology you came to dominate sir, the vocal.
But don't you think that with the technology improvement and the improvement in the music,
Yes, sir.
the focus on the words or vocals got reduced?
Sir, there is a true thing, a substance in this statement because, sir, in
Okay,
my personal opinion, sir,
Okay,
also.
okay, no. Now there is, a cause of worry that you are from Bihar also. Okay, the cases in the judiciary are piling, mounting. Lakhs and lakhs of cases are pending, and in Bihar the prohibition has increased that burden further. Now, what do you think should be done to reduce this pendency, and especially in the lower courts, below the high court?
So, firstly, sir, there is a lot of vacancy, especially in Bihar. Sir, there is around, sir, I'm not exactly aware, sir, but it is somewhere around, sir, 40% vacancy in Bihar, sir. First, we need
In
to
judiciary?
Yes, sir. In High Court, sir, there is, sir, 40%.
In the high court, no. I'm not interested in the high court.
Yes, sir.
Judiciary, lower.
Sir, not exactly.
District judge and downwards.
Not exactly, sir, but there are a huge vacancies, sir, that I've heard.
Maybe there are always vacancies in all departments,
Yes, sir.
every organ of the government.
So secondly, sir, we need to encourage alternate dispute resolution mechanisms or sir strengthen sir the ground roots judiciary mechanisms like the Nyay Panchayats or the Lok Adalats. Sir, use of these mechanisms sir, needs to be encouraged sir, to reduce.
So in Bihar, do you see Lok Adalats happening?
Yes, sir.
Are they effective?
Sir, I think they are effective.
Are there any Gram Nyayalaya?
Yes, sir.
In Bihar?
Yes, sir.
In every panchayat?
Sir, I know about in my district, sir, they are.
There are.
Yes.
Then why is the pendency there again? Even
Sir,
Bihar is not free from pendency.
Sir, they are not like that much empowered. So their jurisdiction are very much low, like sir, and there is a tendency like people don't go in
So
that.
would you like to increase their jurisdiction or their powers of the Nyaya Panchayat?
Sir, I think they should be like they currently, sir. The threshold is pretty low. Like, sir, I'm not exactly aware, sir, but the
No,
threshold
would you
is
like
low.
to increase it?
Yes, sir. Somewhat, sir, they need to be increased because, sir, people directly go then to the higher courts, like the district courts, sir, and there the pendency tends to accumulate.
And you also mentioned about ADR.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how does ADR work?
So basically, sir, there are four principles on which ADR, alternate dispute resolutions work. Like, sir, there is arbitration, mediation, reconciliation, and one, sir, I'm forgetting.
Then, okay, thank you.
Okay, Rahul. Mathematics was your topic. So, can you name three modern and three ancient Indian mathematicians?
Sir, starting with ancient, sir, Aryabhat, sir, the Bhaskaracharya, and sir, Varamihir. And sir, in modern times, sir, one is sir S. Ramanujan,
Mhm.
sir, Sir, Shakuntala Devi, and sir,
Shakuntala Devi was mathematician or
she was sir associated with maths and sir like mental calculations,
okay.
human computer she was known as, and sir, one should be sir Neena Gupta.
Neela Gupta.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was the contribution of Brahmagupt?
Sir, Brahmagupta wrote sir Brahmasput Siddhantika book. Sir, it was basically about sir the infinite series, sir. And sir, also sir about negative numbers.
Yeah. He was the first one who gave negative numbers. Who was the first one who gave the place value of 0?
Sir, if I'm not wrong, sir, it was sir Van Lata who wrote sir Shunya Siddhant.
Aryabhat. Aryabhat was the first one who gave the place value of 0.
Okay,
Who gave the first value of pi up to 4 digits?
sir Aryabhat.
Okay. You live in Chitragupt Nagar. What is that Chitragupt? Who is Chitragupt?
Sir, Chitragupt basically is associated in Brahmlok because sir, he is supposed to sir keep the records of a man's good and bad deeds. And according to that, sir, hell and heaven is decided for.
I see. So this is, your town has been named after him.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you heard a name called Rome Statutes?
Sir, I have faintly heard, sir, because it is associated with International Criminal Court.
Okay. International Criminal Law,
Okay.
not court.
Thank you.
So, what is this law?
So this law is against sir, like the wrongdoing, especially what that are committed during sir, the war times, like so there is some genocide or sir, war atrocities on like prisoner of war. So it tries to address them.
And is India a party to this law?
No, sir.
Which are the big countries which are party to this law?
So one is the Netherlands, France.
And where is the International Criminal Court?
Sir, it's in The Hague.
In The Hague. Okay. Now, my last question is, can you name 5 Government of India schemes which are designed for women empowerment?
Sir, first is sir, like for women's education, sir, there's a project Roshni scheme, sir, because that tends to integrate the women, sir, who have been who have left the studies due to some sir, their marital works or anything like that. Second is sir, PM Suman, sir, Suman scheme, sir, that
What is that?
Sir,
PM
Surakshit
Suman.
Matritva, yes, sir, Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan.
Mhm.
That tries to sir address the diseases or like health complications during the pregnancy. Sir, so there is a then portions.
That is more for security rather than empowerment, protection and security.
Sir, next in that, sir, for women empowerment, sir. So this maternity benefit amendment act was incorporated sir, like that to encourage their participation.
Women have also been given reservation in many gram panchayats.
Sir, in states.
Yeah, they have also been given equal status in inheritance of property now.
Yes, sir.
So these are issues of. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rahul, Bihar is your home state, no?
Yes, sir.
The context of Bihar, what is good politics but bad economics?
So currently, sir, it's liquor prohibition.
Why it is bad, good politics?
So because that was the long-standing demand of the women of the Bihar, because they were like the victims of domestic violence, and in which liquor was playing a big role. So to tend to the demands of
So
them.
you win the election, so it is a good politics.
So that is beneficial for the society in the long run.
And the bad economics.
Sir, because this was one of the biggest sources of revenue for the state, and that has been like,
How much Bihar is losing? Estimate? Any estimate?
so,
Any guess?
so I guess it would be, sir, around 1,000 crore or more than that.
More than that, many times. Good politics, bad economics. What we can say about the administration? Administration of justice. Good or bad?
Sir, regarding that liquor
Yeah,
provision.
same. Yeah.
Sir, it has been fairly good, sir, at justice, but sir, litigations have increased and somewhat, sir, harassment have also increased.
So how it can be good?
So because
The huge workload is increasing because of this policy.
so, so police, judiciary, both, sir, they and the administration and enforcement department, sir. Like,
And who is the beneficiary because of this prohibition?
so, women and sir, the basically whole the families of the rural families are who are poor.
Economically, financially.
So in that sense also, sir, because sir, they would don't tend to spend, sir, like on liquor, rather than they can, sir, divert this.
No, but where this money is going? People must be still consuming liquor.
So there are some instances in
Some,
black.
some or many.
So there have been instances like in black, underground. Thus,
Any
sale has
gain-
gone underground.
Any gain of the neighbors of Bihar because of prohibition policy?
This is the border states, border districts, especially in Uttar Pradesh and, sir, like Jharkhand and Bengal, sir, people tend to go there to like for.
Nepal also can be one of the beneficiary.
Sir, it can be, yes.
And it is a good policy or bad? What is your personal view about the prohibition?
Sir, I think it was a good policy because, sir, there are the whatever the bad things are there, sir, that are very less in comparison to the good what it has done.
Some other states also must have tried this policy in India.
So one is Gujarat, sir, which it tried, sir, very early on.
Gujarat not only tried, it is continuing.
Continuing, yes.
But what are the other states where it was tried, it failed, and soon they realized and stopped it?
Sir, I'm not aware. Currently, I'm not able to recall.
No. Now, what is the separation of power in our constitution? What is the separation of power principle?
So basically, sir, this principle tends to separate powers between the three organs of the government, sir, the legislative, executive, and the judiciary. Sir,
How this happens, separation of power?
sir, there are various constitutional provisions for that, sir. Like if there is a separation, for example, for separation between, sir, judiciary and legislature, like Article 105 and, sir, 121, sir, like both cannot discuss about each other unless, very some certain special
Cannot?
circumstances.
Both cannot?
So like judiciary cannot take into account about any speech given or any vote given by parliamentarians, and, sir,
Speech given in parliament is a different thing.
yes, sir.
We are talking about the powers of an organization, an organ of the government.
Sir, like judiciary, sir, separation, like judiciary is in like for its appointment powers. Judiciary is a supreme collegian. There's a collegian system, and so they appoint judges by themselves.
No, but where is separation?
So judiciary and executive have no role, basically no significant role to play in the powers of Supreme Court or any, the judiciary power.
Powers of Supreme Court means what?
So like the powers to appoint its judges, power to, sir, regulate like its procedures and all.
So you want to say that judiciary is separate,
Yes, sir.
executive is separate, and
Legislature.
they all are separate. Any overlapping you see?
Yes, sir. We are basically following a parliamentary system. So there are some, the wall is basically porous, not the strict.
Who
wall
is
system.
encroaching upon others actually sphere of influence or work? Which organ?
Sir,
Encroaching upon others' territory.
sir, I will not say encroaching, but there have been some instances where, like, if due to failure of one organization, second has to step in. For example, sir, due to some failure of, sir, like legislature, when there is a failure of legislature, sir, the judiciary sometimes steps in.
For example,
So when it's like this striked off, like, if, for example, in Vishakha guidelines, sir, the judiciary basically gave the guidelines to form a law, for Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act.
And then finally, what happened?
So legislatures have then enacted a law regarding it.
You know about Ramsar Convention?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain?
Yes, sir. So this is a convention in which wetlands which are of some special importance, they are protected. The parties which are signatory to this, they undertake oath to basically to protect that sites and maintain that integrity.
Have you ratified this convention? Has India ratified this convention?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When was this convention held?
Sir, it was 2nd February 1971.
Okay. Where?
Sorry, Ramsar in a city. It's a city in Iran.
Okay. How many Ramsar sites are there in India?
Sir, in India, it's 49.
49 sites. So there's one in your district also?
Yes, sir. Sir, it's
What is its
Kawartal.
name?
Kawartal.
Kawartal. So what are the main protected birds in this site?
Sir, one I'm remembering is a sociable lapwing, and sir, bear's pochard.
Two main birds. You are leaving out the two main birds for which it is known.
Sir,
Vul-
Sarus cranes also, sir, come.
Vultures,
Vulture.
vultures and great adjutant. You heard of great adjutant?
Yes, sir. There are only like like two only sir breeding sites are remaining in the world. One is in Assam and one is in Bhagalpur, and some parts are lying in Kawartal.
There's another one which is in Cambodia. There are 3 breeding sites. So what is great about this great adjutant?
So exact details I'm not aware of.
Does this bird also has something to do with the mythology?
So I'm not aware.
Could it be that the Garud in Ramayana or in mythology was the same as great adjutant, or is it a separate bird?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware, but sir, it should be, I think, a separate, but not a great adjutant stall.
Okay, right. In Bihar, very recently there have been like pictures of children preparing for competitive exams on the banks of Ganga in
Yes.
Patna and IT Ghat. So you also must have taken coaching somewhere. So Bihar has this huge culture of coaching and appearing for competitive exams. But the government posts the numbers are coming down and down, but the number of people preparing is going up. What would be your message to these kids who are preparing for different exams in your state?
So first, the message will be obviously to like work hard, give yourself all the dedication, whatever you want to. But sir, if the message to sir like not who are preparing before like in school, sir, we can like encourage the culture of sir entrepreneurship, like rather than.
So you are Chief Secretary of Bihar. You know this, that the government, the sphere is shrinking, but the number of people preparing for government exams is increasing. Recently, there was mass violence also,
Yes.
right, due to NTPC exam.
Yes.
So then, as a Chief Secretary, what policies will you make and what message would you send to these coaching institutes and the kids preparing?
So the message would be for coaching institutes and like to have a rational. First of all, sir, the rational fee policy would be the first policy like for as a chief secretary, like because there are
no. How will you convey that the number of posts is going down? You people need to look at something else. Would that be heartbreaking for these people?
So if we provide them with alternate opportunities, sir, then it won't be heartbreaking. First,
How?
sir, we need to be sir, we can encourage sir investments by we can attract investments and open up some new sir manufacturing industries.
Your district, Begusarai, had ample of industries earlier.
Yes, sir.
You would know.
Yes, sir.
So what is its status now, and what will you do to revive industries in your area?
Sir, many of the industries which had been shut down, sir, they have been revived. For example, sir, the fertilizer plant, it has been revived now. Sir, Baroni NTPC, so that has also been revived. And sir, the dairy production of Sudha, that is working fine. That has always been working. And so the refinery that's expanding its IOC refinery is expanding its capacities, and so more jobs are being created.
This has been done. What will you do new?
So few plants they have been like shut down, sir. That's carbon production, carbon, and there some regarding the same external substances, so that have been closed. So due to some pollution issues by the locals. So to revive them, sir, first we need to like ensure the safety measures like whatever the treatments required, so wastewater or the air pollution. Both, sir, first that they need to be like checked. And
I
then,
wanted to ask you in a context of the labor force that is coming from Bihar. Okay, these people who are appearing for exams and mass preparation.
yes,
How will you absorb them in these industries? These industries are essentially capital intensive industries where I don't think they are providing much employment to the local people. How will you absorb this workforce in the industries? What will you do? What kind of
So-
industries?
so then agro industries or agro processing industries, so that can be thought of that.
Your district, specific to your district, what can you do?
Sir, first is like the milk production, sir. We can increase that one more, the production of.
It's
capacity
already
of,
happening. What
yes,
more?
Sir, in one district, one product scheme, sir, the chili has been selected, and sir, the tomatoes of Begusarai are famous, sir. So pickle industry, sir, can be thought of, sir, one as option.
Thank you.
Please wait outside. We shall just call you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Rahul, your interview was very, very good. We are all impressed. Tell me, how have you done your maths paper?
Sir, paper one is not good.
How many questions did you write?
Sir, around 180 I have got correct in absolute marking, sir. If there's no scaling.
And second paper?
So that also around same, 175.
175. Okay. What do you think of your interview today, basically? What strengths you observed for yourself?
So strengths, like in few questions I was aware about the facts and I could give really answer about, especially about my district, I was aware. But in some questions like of chief secretary, that I deviated from the fact that how to increase jobs, other I went on pollution things and all.
Okay. And what you think can further be improved according to you based on this interview?
So my expression, like I was giving very lengthy answers. It should be like on the point, direct on point.
Yes. Okay. Now, as we are saying that you are good, we would like to give you further strength, sorry, that you improve your performance in the interview. First, very small thing, you should remove this label.
Sure, sir. I forgot.
This label should be removed. Okay. Now, more important things. You know, while answering the questions, you should be first listening very carefully to the question what is being asked, the content. Give a thought to it and then frame the answer framework, structure, and then answer. So many times we are observing that something is asked, but you start covering other areas. Right? It should never be done. Whatsoever is asked, it should be clear reply to that. Number one. Number two, make it a point that never give mug up answers. You know, the basic fundamental nowadays adopted in UPSC is that they want to emphasize on conversation. It's not now examination of your knowledge. That has already been checked in the written examination. Now, how do you have the conversation with the board? That is important. So, made up answers, they immediately make the people here disinterested in your exposition. So, that should be avoided. When is your interview?
So 25th May.
25th May. So, a lot of time you have.
Yes.
Now, I would suggest a few things to you in this regard. Do you have any other friend who is preparing with you for interview?
Yes, sir.
How many friends?
Sir, 2 or 3.
Two or three.
Two are there. One is one new friend, sir.
Okay, it's all right. Now you just sit together for one day at least and decide that one person will be preparing for one topic, hot topic, which is being faced in the country. Note. Well, use only a 4-size paper and frame certain questions on that. You ask those questions to your friend, discuss the answers, and give that copy which you have prepared to him. ask him to do the same thing. So this will develop a tendency in you where you will be thinking, you will be giving your own thought, your own opinion. That's what matters in the interview. So this practice you have to start from today itself. Where you have 1 month, so use this particular 1 month. That is sharing of notes, making the notes, sharing them, having a discussion on the questions, and then exchanging the contents. So in a smaller time, you will be having double content prepared and double discussions happening already. Okay. Second thing which you can do now is, I will just tell you a few important publications which you should certainly go if you really want to score good marks. Starting with chapter 2 and chapter 4 of economic survey. Chapter 2 and chapter 4 of the economic survey. Then last 3 months issues of Diplomat magazine. Last 2 issues of Economic and Political Weekly. Why I am telling you all these issues? Because they have dealt with the current problems which are being faced by India, whether it is in foreign policy or economy or any other thing. Then you have to go in for DT, down to earth. Only last 2 issues, because IPCC report in reference to COP26 has been discussed in these 2 issues, and what difficult time India is going to face. Then connected to this is that cut the clutter.
Good. That I'm sir watching.
Very good. If you are watching that, that will enhance your knowledge. Very good. Another thing which I will suggest, that while preparing all these things, you make it sure that you are not touching books now. No books. Only your notes, because this is not the examination of knowledge, again emphasizing. Okay. So you should remember one very small formula, very, very small formula, that whatsoever is happening around you, your village, your district, your state, and the country, you should have complete awareness on that. Knowledge, you cannot have complete knowledge on anything, but complete awareness. Now, when you will tell that you are from Bihar, apart from all these things, they will ask the problem being faced by the poor people there. And why, even after having such fertile soil, why there is so much of poverty? Why there is so much of poverty? This will be a major question for you, major question. Then you remember one thing, that Bihar has been the center for some very important religious events.
Yes.
You know it.
Yes.
Then Jayaprakash Narayan movement started there.
Yes, sir.
So basically the thing is that the fire is, Bihar has that strong fire, and that brings people to the civil services, because they have this sharpness and attention to what is happening around them and what are their rights and all those things. But at the same time, most of the population is not aware of what is happening around them. Right? So what is the issue and what is the solution in your mind?
So awareness, like in school curriculum.
How can you make the people aware on this?
So like local channels, like in TV channels, they tend to like more focus on, like especially on district focus. Some on their channels are like we can start some programs.
So you make a good note on it. Very good note. Separate note should be prepared by you on this. Then make a detailed visit of your village.
Yes.
Observe what are the problems being faced by the people. Specific problems. What do they say about those problems? What do they want? Basically, what do they want is more important. What do they want? And once you note down these problems, again take 1 page for each problem. Write the problem at the top and write your original views. Nothing copied from somewhere, nothing already framed answer. No, nothing. Your original thoughts. Whatsoever comes in your mind. Don't bother whether it is very strong, very weak or not. Real thing. In this interview, what matters is how much truthful you are, how much integrity you are expressing while answering the questions. This integrity part is very, very important. So, this ethical principles of life, they should be visible to the board, not artificially, but in your natural expressions. Okay?
Yes.
Anything you want to ask?
What were the feedbacks or which areas I need to improve?
That's
today?
what we have told you.
Yes.
These areas are the weak areas for you. All these areas which I have told you,
Yes, sir.
this is what we have felt that these are weak areas for you. This you have to improve. If you really want to get success, you will have to give strength to your knowledge base, so that it is deep, not shallow one.
You have you on your side, you appear very, very bright. Just engage in conversation.
Conversation. That is most important. That's why again we are telling you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.